coming from Houston, Texas, but more specifically in my actual house with one of my favorite people, Rocky, right? And then we have Sarah also out here. So we are here just to talk about today authentic networking and really dive in a little bit more about ourselves and celebrate the International Women's Day. We have a room full and a audience full of women. So welcome everyone here. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. And I always say that because when I open any live, because it's so cool that we're in this world now while we've all met through LinkedIn. It's so cool that we are international and we have this opportunity to engage with people from across the ocean, even in our backyards, but no matter where, we're all here together in one space at this very moment. So welcome everyone to this special episode of Authentic Networking with myself, Denise Martha Bachman. And
yeah.
And Rocky, do your own introduction, and then Sia can do her introduction.
Awesome. Well, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me to your home. Y'all, I am in heaven. This is like so beautiful. It's like a mini escape. And it just comes really well on International Women's Day. It's a celebration. So this is a giving back to ourselves, replenishing ourselves, and surrounding ourselves with individuals who pour into our lives. So thank you so much, Denise, for allowing me this space and the opportunity to actually speak to your audience and deliver value, because this is what we do. But my name is Raquel Raki Flores, and I am in social media. I'm also, my background is in healthcare, and I love networking. I love authenticity. So, gosh, when Denise said, "Hey, let's talk about these two things," I said, "Let's do it." So here I am, guys. And then we have Miss Sia Yasutorad. Go ahead, girl.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Hello. I literally was typing hello as you guys were like wrapping up there. I was like, yeah, the timing. Hello, guys. I'm the founder of Brilliant Bee Media, and we are a consulting agency for businesses, brands, quite frankly, looking to bring social media back to some fun and socialness of it all. So we help businesses connect authentically with their audience and target, whether it's digital content creation or just social media engagement. So it's funny you should mention that, you guys. 5 minutes ago, I just updated my LinkedIn banner to talk about authenticity in networking. And I actually had to withdraw a line, my little tagline, which was, if you pitch slap me, I may pitch slap you back. But I decided,
love that.
Well, actually, it wasn't going to be pitch slap you back. It was going to be with the letter B. And then I thought about it and I was like, I may be banned by LinkedIn for that. So
No,
audience,
LinkedIn.
you guys tell me if you want to, if you think I should, let's do it. And by the way, I just saw Chela Diaz. Girl, I grew up in Anaheim Hills, California. Orange, California is right next door. So thank you for joining.
I love Chella, so thank you for being out there, Chella.
Love it. I love it when you do have, individuals tuning in, and this is the beauty of actually connecting in authentic ways and actually genuine ways. Is you're able to cross pollinate. I'm, referencing Missia here. Audiences, you're able to, you are in AI, you're in tech, and I'm over here in social media and healthcare. But at the end of the day, industries really can find a way to be able to marry one another, in that sense, and create something different. So I believe wholeheartedly, I believe in collaboration. So
I do too.
And this is this is a collaboration, even though it stems from networking, turns into a friendship, it leads to other, collaborations. As long as you don't lead with transaction. This is one thing that I don't appreciate, when people just really, like Sia was saying, pitch slapping. Don't do that. We definitely connect first, get to know the person, see the human side of that person first, and then if it leads to something transactional, then yay, welcome. If not, then it's okay. You can serve the friendship.
Exactly. I talk about that all the time, being in sales. We unfortunately, in today's world, we've created this negative stigma around how to engage, because we have so many people who don't know how to do it very effectively, right? And who wants to, think about 5 years ago. I hate to use the word COVID, right? But think about what life was like prior to COVID. We were all going into the offices. We were crazy busy. We weren't online. I mean, we were, but not much. Right? We were slowly progressing in that direction. And now all of a sudden we are sequestered to our homes, and we're isolated isolated, and now we're stuck in front of our laptops where everything has now become virtual, the digital age. And now it's like we forgot how to actually engage with people in a way that fosters this collaboration, co-creation. Instead, it's all transactional based because we've forgotten how to do it effectively. It's just so saddening to me.
Yes.
Well,
No, I
it's
completely.
it's more concerning to me as we are women of a certain age. We are a society of a certain age. If we pre-internet cannot communicate with each other authentically, right? In a way that we can actually like feel like we're bonding with each other, talking to a real person. I can't begin to imagine the Gen A, Gen Zs, Zillennials, millennials, they have grown up in a digitally native world. What do you think, especially a post-pandemic world, their ability to communicate? They can barely communicate now. Look at my nieces and nephews, and they're like their faces are in the, in the what is this thing
Their
called?
phone, their iPad, their computer.
They're electronic, yeah.
Their tech gadgets.
Full disclosure, ladies, I swear to God, I am only drinking coffee. That's all I'm saying. But I still can't find my words.
It's all good, but Sia does bring a really valid point, to the mix, because it is generational, right? But it's also driven by external factors. But how do we continue to show up for ourselves, for our business in an authentic way without losing that connectivity, without losing that bond? The bonds is really human, like, to the core. So for me, that's always been important. And that is why I lead with kindness. I always say that, what you see is what you get. I don't put a facade.
We love that.
I don't put a facade online and I'm a different person offline. No, that is not just the way it is, because I believe in transparency. I believe that your brand really honestly conserves that power when you remain transparent. So I know not many people share my belief, but it's okay. That's why there's different colors for different people, your choices and what you like. But for me, it's proven to have worked. And this is why I also teach that. And authenticity at the end of the day, at the core, is at one of the core value of what I appreciate.
Well, and, my question is, what if, so we all, because we come in now contact with anyone and everyone, right? We have the use of Zoom, we have this ability to do lives and audio events, and we're constantly engaging with new individuals. How do we retain that authenticity, right? And we have so many external factors in which we then, that are impacting us. So do we shift who we are? Do we try to succumb to those that we are surrounded by at that moment? Do we listen to all of the input, the feedback that people provide, sometimes maybe even unsolicited, but nonetheless, feedback, right? How do we retain that authenticity when we've got so much noise out there in this world right now?
My goodness. Whew. This is like a whole show and a whole series, y'all. No joke. I know I have a lot to say about that, and that it will be really impossible to cram into less than an hour. But just to touch the surface on that, let's scratch it. For me, and I'm applying it to my journey and what I've been through. For so long, I conformed. For so long, I fit boxes that people always wanted to put me in. For so long, I was labeled. And to finally have a platform where I'm able to be me, trust me, I am not going to be fitting in anyone's boxes anytime soon, because at the end of the day, that is claiming your power. And I say that in the nicest way as possible. We live in a society that really, really loves labels, but I believe honestly the labels, they separate. They do not unite. And when you go back to the core of who you are, and if you feel like you're lying to yourself or that you're not you, then you're not honoring yourself. And for me to depart from that core, it's impossible. That's a non-negotiable for me, to be honest with you. So externally, right, we get so many different forces being applied to us. Oh, you have to fit this mold, or you have to be this template. But why? Who said that? Who imposed that, and why? We always have to question. I learned that from my theater teacher in high school. You always have to question why. And by God, I've been questioning why lately. But Sia, what do you think about that? I know you have a lot to say about that.
Look, lady, I don't know what to tell you other than I think you have to, everyone's journey in life is your own
Mhm.
unique journey. No two are going to be the same. Sure, there might be sometimes, like anything, like you're walking on the beach, your footstep might fall on the same footstep as one person for that one step, but that next step is not going to be necessarily the same, right? Your footfall might even be slightly different. And it's those subtleties that I feel when we look at our own ways of connecting with someone, you'll find those commonalities at times where it's like, hey, man, we're not completely on the same page, but we're kind of close enough that we can find something that will resonate with us. So that's a long, convoluted way of saying is this: find your freaking center. Okay. Find who you are, because in the end of things, when you take that last breath in life, it's you that you have to satisfy in the very end to go peacefully or not go peacefully, live with regrets, whatever it might be. So, you got to do a lot of soul searching, but accept it during that soul searching that you are an amazing being, you are an amazing soul, and you will go far if you just believe in yourself. So yeah, Raquel and I have these debates back and forth because maybe I'm just a complete narcissist or something, because I just don't see failure. I see experiences. And so whenever I have a setback in life, it's a momentary time where I'm like, F this, right? But then it goes away, because you know why? Time is opportunity. And if you don't embrace it, then you're going to be living in your past and dwelling in something that is purely manufactured in between your two ears.
Yeah, but Sia, I can respect and admire that. And I love that you guys have found your groove and know who you are and stand firm in that. And I'm getting there. That's been an evolution for me here. I just turned 51, so I'll be 52 this year, right?
Look
I'm
at
old.
that.
I'm old.
No, you
Oh,
are
girl, I'm
not
catching up
old.
with you. I'm catching up. I'm catching up.
But it's taken me a long time on this journey to even get to this point. And even just in the last probably 6 months, I've uncovered that, I have always sought out validation in other people. So it took me a while to get to that point, right? And then I had to figure out, well, why did I seek out validation, right? And I know not everyone is in the same place that each of us are individually. Life is a journey, right? And sometimes it's a hard as yes, journey, right? And it's managing and sifting through. But I think the one thing that has helped me through that the most is reminding myself that I don't need anyone's validation. I have these beautiful children and I have this amazing husband, and, they love me for who I am. I surround myself with such amazing people who love me. And I say that only to say, for those of you that are listening, if you are one of those people who are still struggling, surround yourself with the right people, that you don't have to validate yourself, right? Or validate yourself to them, that lift you up rather than, maybe make you feel bad about yourself. And maybe they don't make you feel bad because that isn't really what people intend to do intentionally, right? But you've got to just stand firm in who you are, retain your power, and know that you are the best version of yourself. And if you're not, work on getting to that best version of yourself, right? Take in what they say and maybe leverage that as a means to look internally and determine what of that do you actually need to change about yourself, or what is just, crap.
Right.
Right? What should go in or out?
You pick, and it goes back to the attract and repel. And I know we talk a lot about this, and in my platform, I really do talk a lot about that. And you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea, right? We're not going to be liked by everyone. We're not, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day are you living for you, to honor you, or are you living to please somebody else? And at this point of the game, at this stage in our lives, I'm like, no. I deserve to honor myself. So I have what's called the 3 L's, what I call the 3 L's. You live, you love, and you lead. When you live, right, you're honoring yourself. When you live in authenticity, you're honoring yourself. When you love with authenticity, you're honoring others. But when you lead with authenticity, you're doing both.
I love that.
So always remember that. And, we really can't pour out to other people if we really don't know at the end of the day who we are in our core values, or figure out who we are. So you have to, no one can do this for you. You have to do your own deep diving. self-reflection journey. Everybody's journey is different. What worked for somebody will probably not work for me. What worked for me is not going to resonate with you, and that's perfectly okay. But guess what? We do learn by listening. Learning to listen and to see what others are doing could be an inspiration for us. And that's why I continue sharing my story. That's why I tell everybody you have a story, and you don't have to feel validated by your story. You just have to share it, be seen, put yourself out there. It's scary because you feel vulnerable, but there's so much power in vulnerability. So,
strength and vulnerability, right? Hashtag walk tall. If I may interject here, is what I find fascinating is, and this was the case for me, guys. So I am speaking from my own experience, but how we wrap our identity, it's so easily intertwined with these third party things that we think is going to give us some level of strength, right? So for me, I spent 20 years in tech sales, and once I left the company, I was like, holy crap on crackers, what the hell am I? What the hell am I? Right? I literally had a buddy ask me, they're like, dude, like, so I was given an option to get a package that my position was terminated, but they're like, hey, do you want to find another gig elsewhere? And I'm like, hell no, I'm done with you peoples. But it wasn't because I didn't like the company. I was done with the job itself. I was breaking out into hives every forecast call. That is not a healthy place to be. And I remember I just said, give me the package. I need to go, like, pay me to leave. And when my buddy asked me, and I remember sitting at the bar looking at him, and we're just I had a glass of wine, I think, in hand. Had a glass of wine in hand. I don't know if anyone can relate in this group, but anyway, sorry. I was choking on my saliva. And we're both looking forward, and I just remember holding the glass in hand, kind of like this. And then he just goes, what are your hobbies, man? Like, what are you going to do? And I could not answer the question. And that's when I knew my soul wasn't with me at that moment in time. I wasn't centered. I was off kilter. And it took me a year and a half. Not going to lie, I traveled quite a bit. That helped. But to realize who this person was and what they stood for and what life means to them. And it's a beautiful feeling once you find it. Since I have left corporate, I have a lot of great friends. And yes, we are similarly aged. I'm hitting the big 50 in August. I don't know how I feel about that. We'll talk about that in another episode, I'm sure. But the just being able to look at my friends who have achieved a certain level of success in their careers, and we're sitting there talking to each other and realizing it's the same, hit show that we were when we were teenagers, the same insecurities. We just now make more money and have titles. Sometimes if you don't do that self-work, you haven't progressed. And when you find that tribe of women who understand where you're at, they don't judge where you're at. They'll support you on your position and station and wherever you're at in life. Those are the type of people you need, not the people that are going to try to compete with you, not the type of people that are cut you down, not the type of people that are threatened by your perceived success, whether it's internal success or outwardly, whatever career success. And so with you, Denise, it's just, girl, I worry sometimes when, people say, I have it all. I've done it all. It's like, damn.
Have you lived? Have you started looking for yourself?
Well, it's like, have you researched and looked into yourself? Have you really found your Zen? So shout out Zen Sandwich, just joined us, Marguerite out of Japan. So that's the other thing. Zen, have you achieved it? Most people have it. And that's what maybe our journey is about.
I love that. That's pretty powerful.
That is deep.
It is.
Okay, Sia.
I love it. I love it.
Oh my gosh. So, but that's the thing, right? How we go back to the premise of this episode, authentic networking. How do we show up as ourselves and honor ourselves, but still remain credible within our industry or credible amongst our peers? That is always a question that people on this platform, on this shout out LinkedIn, on this platform, we always ask. People are afraid to be themselves, show out some personality because they think they're going to be discredited as a professional. So for you, has that been a challenge or has that been a fear? Has it crossed your mind?
Well, can I use a few curse words? Of course. Of course. And it's been actually something that I've when we talk about imposter syndrome,
Mm.
right, and wanting to be that credible person that people respect, you have in your mind already how you think you should be perceived, right? And then when you're actually out there and people react in some way or another, like, we were talking about this before we joined on the live stream. I'm super quirky. I use my hands a lot. I laugh. I do silly things like the heart, right? I sometimes can't even connect my sentences together because I'm thinking about a million miles a minute, right? And some people, a lot of times I will apologize for that quirkiness, right? But some people actually like that quirkiness. I got to remind myself, right? Because I've heard, we all, I'm sure, and you tell me whether you've experienced this, but I feel like there are always going to be moments when you have people who have something negative to say, or maybe they don't mean it negative, right? I don't know that anyone intentionally intends to be mean, but sometimes they're not careful with their words and we take and internalize that, right? Which is, again, going back to being authentic. Sorry. See, there's my quirkiness, right?
And I love it. It's you.
It's about being authentic. And I think we have to decide again, do we want to really listen to that? And even when we might respect that individual, maybe they're even our best friends in the whole world, sometimes you still got to filter in or out the things that you need to either adopt as a means to change or maybe shift your focus a bit, or whether we just let it go. What about you?
Well, for me, yeah, I will definitely sing Frozen over here. Shout out to y'all. Let it go. Okay. But you brought a very specific point that I also wanted to touch upon. Quirkiness. I love to reframe it and just say it's you, it's unique, it's your essence. And at the end of the day, what makes you you is not the same thing that makes me me. I cannot be you. Is there a formula how to be you that you can write down on paper, or you can say, oh yes, this is how you can be Denise? There's none of that. And so why do we have to fit these molds? Why do we have to fit these templates if there's no formula to define who you are? Therefore, what I usually say is those attributes that you call quirky are just your essence and they are relatable. So I bet you in that audience, shout out to everybody who's out there. There are individuals who may be afraid to come on camera, who may be afraid to show up as themselves because they're going to be judged. But this is one of the things that has been so liberating to me and for me once I really sat in my power. And I said, if my quirkiness, if my uniqueness, if my authenticity is able to help another woman, is able to help another man, and I speak to my women because, my journey talks a lot about from the woman's standpoint. But if it's able to help somebody, by God, I'm going to do it. I'm going to show up and keep showing up as myself because I know that at the end of the day, I will be making a difference in someone's life, whether that is inspiring them or whether that is, helping them become the better version of themselves. And guess what does that do? Once you get a message, once you get a DM, once you get a word of notice saying, Raquel, what you posted about today or what you said today really hit me, and I'm going to start doing this and this and that. How does that make you feel? It makes you feel, not that you need it, validated. However, it makes you feel great because you're being you, you're authentic you're honoring you, and you're honoring others.
Which, see, I want to come to you, but I do think that's something that we really should highlight here, which is we all have our own gifts and the world needs to know our gifts. And I think that is one of the things that causes people to be fearful of being themselves because they don't really either, one, know what their gift is, or two, they don't actually believe that anyone wants to be privy to or acknowledge or learn from their gifts. And that's not why we're here on this earth, right? Whether you believe in Heavenly Father, the spirits, the universe, we're all here with a purpose. We just need to find what that purpose is. So we're going a little deep. See ya.
Save us.
Bring us out from the
Girl, I can go deep. I can go shallow. I've been called many things in life. You tell me before you. No, so look, I feel with going back to the universe because I'm a big advocate, we're all balls of energy, right? And when you are engaging and interacting, it's an exchange of energy flow, right? So thermodynamic laws, all that energy is not created or destroyed, it's transferred amongst one another. So if we think of it in that perspective, even if you don't know what your gift is yet, you're giving an energy. Now, for those that are receiving that energy, it's an opportunity to help pull out the energy that is going to elevate their frequency. I'm not hippy dippy. I'm just trying to do an analogy here, people. But if you're with the right people and you have a little bit of uncertainty within yourself, if you're in a good conversation and transaction, when I say transaction, a flow, will elevate naturally. How many times have you guys been in conversations or watched live streams or podcasts or whatever where the energy just starts going down because the energy of one person is hella low, then the other one tries to match it, right? And the idea, I think, around with authenticity and networking and all that, we're not saying not everyone is going to be high energy. Okay, I get it. I'm a high energy person. I'm an extrovert. But it is the ability to adjust your energy flow to accommodate that other individual who might be lower frequency, but you can also help elevate them and pull them up, right, into an area. And I think that's where I say this with all my clients who want to create content authentically and actually resonate with their audience is connect emotionally. Find something that's going to make them laugh, which is what I'd lean to, because I find that's humanity all likes to laugh, either usually at me, but that's
not at all. And I don't mean
Girl,
that.
don't
I don't
even
mean
get
that
me started.
sarcastic. I mean you are funny. We have fun.
but that is my essence, though, right? Now there are some individuals who, like Mark Reed, Zen sandwich, man. He is so zen. At the same time, I also know he swears like a sailor at times, but that doesn't mean that the two aren't, congruent. It just simply means he likes to swear, but he's also very chill and zen. He actually knows how to like keep it centered, right? Maybe that swearing keeps him centered. Who knows? Ashif's talked about alignment is important. Absolutely. If you're aligned within yourself and with one another, like whomever you're with, like you guys I'm vibing with, like we could go serious if we want to, or we can, make jokes and you will know it based on what you give, you receive it back. So yeah, I kind of went a little bit universally there, but that's kind of, that's what I view true connections. And building those relationships is I will vibe you. And I tell it to everyone, I'm vibing everybody in the chats right now.
It's complementing. That's the thing. You complement one another. Once you're in that right energy, you really do complement. And it's not a forced thing. It naturally comes. And it goes back to relatability, right? How do you relate to the other person? As humans, we have this innate desire to be relating to another human, to be connecting. So that's what, for me, it's very important to be able to connect with a person like that. And it's important in business as well, right? People really do want to do business with somebody they trust.
No, like and trust.
But how do you develop that trust if you don't open up the gate to actually them getting to know you? So in this light, we start reframing what professional networking looks like. Because again, I know we're on LinkedIn. Shout out to you, LinkedIn. And it is known for being a professional networking platform. But to me and to many others in my tribe, now it's a creator's playground. And I mean, wouldn't you agree with that? How do you feel now that you're able to do these things, the different versions of it?
Yeah, and I maybe look at it differently than creator. I know Sia has been in sales as well. I mean, I spent 30 years there. And, I always say now, we are all selling something, right? Let's be honest with ourselves. Whether you are a salesperson by profession, you are always selling something. And the difference with people today is we have this ability to sit online in front of our laptops, right? If I can take us back to pre-pandemic, right? It was evolving into this digital age, but now we're in this digital age, right? And we were isolated, as we talked about earlier, we were isolated. So buyers of today, consumers, average Joes, us, we now have an opportunity to sit in front of our laptop, even if we have back-to-back meetings, because, oh, by the way, those meetings are usually by Zoom, even if we live in this hybrid world where we go into the office, right?
Yes.
So you're sitting in front of your laptop. You have more time to do your own homework and your own research. So in the sales before, we had to educate as salespeople. We had to educate the buyers, but now buyers or consumers, all three of us and all of those in the audience, we all are now more educated. By the time we go to choose, a vendor, we've already down selected at that point. So when we go to work with a salesperson, that what they want you to do is, yes, confirm what they've learned about you, right, and about the company and about the product, but they want the experience. The differentiator now is going to be the experience. The experience only comes from being your authentic self and having these conversations that allows one another to get to know each other. And that's what's going to create that buying relationship. Take buying out of it, just that relationship, right? It doesn't matter whether you're in sales or not, but the reality is we're all here on LinkedIn for a purpose. We may not want to admit it, but we're all here for a purpose.
Yeah.
Look, people, personal branding for my corporate friends that are still in the corporate world, they don't understand LinkedIn. A lot of them still look at it as a job posting site, right? For those that are just not active on social media in general, LinkedIn has evolved. No two ways about it. It is the premier business networking platform, period. Love it, hate it. It is what it is, right? And for those that are, still working for the man, more power to you. There's nothing wrong about that. Everyone has their different places and like enjoyment factor. But it doesn't mean you lose your identity working for that company. You are who you are, because you know what? I hate to say it to everybody. You are a number on a spreadsheet for a business. No matter how much, even if it's a family-run business, you're still a number on that spreadsheet, because that's a cost overhead for your salary, for your healthcare costs, for the other things that, they don't talk about for overhead. Even if you dedicate 30 years, gone are the days, and only people, probably Gen X and boomers, really relate to this. Gone are the days where there's pride in saying I worked for a company for 25 years. That is unheard of in this day and age. In this day and age, the company very much is, what have you done for me lately? And as employees, it's our responsibility to protect ourselves, to network, to constantly be there, have our personal brand, because it will be inevitable. If there is a cut or downturn in the market, you will be on the chopping block no matter how much you think you're secure. It can and it will happen to so many. That's why, again, build your brand and network with everybody. Talk to people. You don't have to have an ask. Just get to know people, because you never know if that primary relationship with this individual, like with you two ladies, is going to go anywhere. But maybe because we leave a good impression with each other, that we'll introduce our secondary and tertiary relationships to each other. That's the beauty of authentic networking.
And the trust that builds, because like she said, for example, if our collaboration doesn't go anywhere, still that friendship and that relationship remains. And somebody comes here and, hey, Raquel, do you know anybody in the AI space and sales, etc.? I said, yes, I have my good friend, Denise. Automatically, that person who knows me and knows the value that I bring and the person who I am will trust my referral to her, saying, yes, this is a good person. If Rocky knows her, then she must be great. So it adds value. Having that personal brand and also that relatability and that trust, it just adds massive value. So I always tell people, put yourself out there. It is scary as it sounds. Just put yourself out there, be visible, make noise. As I always say, you'll find me on LinkedIn stirring the pot somewhere, but in a good way, okay? In a good way, not a bad way. And especially for women, we usually take a kind of like a backseat because we're scared to be, judged and seen, and what are they going to think? And I'm like, look, you're not harming anyone. Whatever intentions you have, if they're good, you're not harming anyone. So why would you, just kind of block yourself from doing so? So, and I know in industries such as tech, it's difficult, especially for like women to break through. I don't know much of that because I'm not in that space.
Poo, you just do.
I know, that's what I was going to say.
Poo, you just
Sia, I know we probably share some common background, but when I first started in tech sales, I mean, there was maybe one woman to 20 men, maybe. I mean, that may be gracious.
Oh,
that may be gracious.
Is that evolving now?
Yeah, I mean, when I left, it was maybe 1 to 10, maybe, but it was still, and that may still again be gracious, right? I mean, Sia, what did you experience?
100%. Like, so we were one of the very rare, and by the way, I don't mind saying it, we worked at Hewlett Packard at the time. We were in the networking division, ProCurve. Shout out ProCurve. Long live ProCurve. Anyway, and I had a female SE. We were a female
Awesome.
team. I cannot begin to tell
Wow.
you the joys of reading body language when you walk into a room. And I literally heard one guy mutter under his breath, who was a Cisco bigot, saying, "Ugh, they brought marketing."
Mhm.
And I was like, "Oh, sunshine, you just done dropped it." Because my SE is CISSP, CCIE. I mean, that girl can run. She's now a CTO with HP still. Amazing woman. I mean, she's like working her way to become a fellow
Oh,
at HP.
wow.
Okay. So that tells you the girl was smart. There was nothing more amazing than to see that level of, you know, our reputation started to precede us after a while here in Texas, right? But I digress because I do want to mention something Timothy Breedick, I think that's Breedick, mentions here, and I just
Yeah.
want to say it is being your authentic self. Please do watch out for people trying to take advantage of your
Mm.
realness. Unfortunately, it
Mhm.
happens. So do watch out for that connection. And I want to talk about that because I do understand what he's saying, and in some ways I disagree in that if you're real to who you are, you'll know if someone's being disingenuous towards you, and you just treat them
Mhm.
accordingly. If you know
Yep.
who
You
you are
adjust. You
Mhm.
and you adjust. I mean, I agree or disagree. I mean, I don't want to. I can see where with you, Raquel, you're a kind person. Like Raquel and I are like banter because she's so nice, and I'm kind of like, bull.
yeah. She,
Like
No,
I
watch
can
the
say it.
language.
You know,
Watch
I
the
see
language.
it,
We're on LinkedIn.
yeah.
girl.
It's like a
A
cancel.
lot's been dropped on this poor platform.
No, but she, Sia brings up an excellent point in that sense. And thank you, Timothy, for bringing that comment up as well. And yes, when people are genuinely, authentically nice and kind, some folks come to you not with the right intentions. And, I found out the hard way. I found it out the hard way. I felt it hurt, but at the end of the day, it hasn't changed who I am. I haven't allowed it to permeate to the core of who I am, and that it hasn't changed me and how I still continue to lead, with love and living for myself. The only thing it made me aware of is I need to be open my eyes and listen a little bit better next time. Look for those, I guess, differences, in how people approach you. If it's only like selfish, if it's only, nah, it's so many different aspects of it. But yes, it's a valid point. It's a valid point that we open up ourselves to be a target sometimes. But that shouldn't derail you or detract you from your ultimate goal.
Well, because I think the reality is, this may sound a little frou-frou. So for those of you that might be a bit freaked out by that, but the reality is everything works out the way it's supposed to work out. So the universe brings us these conversations, these individuals, these situations for us to learn from whatever that learning might be, right? Maybe it's, something that you have to do internally yourself. Maybe that's the learning. Maybe it's that you now can recognize this particular behavior that you just experienced. It doesn't really matter, right? But that situation happens for a reason. And so you just got to walk away with that saying, okay, I'm still okay with who I am. Here's what I've learned, and here's what I'm going to take from that going forward, right? And, you chalk it up to that. If you internalize it, if you spend more time worried about what happened in the past that prevents you from being your authentic self in the future, then you've allowed that situation, that experience to overtake you, and you will most certainly do yourself and everyone around you a disservice, right? Because then you're not being your authentic self again, right?
Right. And that goes back to dishonoring. I'm just really happy, y'all. I do have to, I want to make a comment really quick. I'm happy because I finally found my long lost Italian sister. We both speak with our hands.
We do.
You know what? We're so expressive because we have so much to, love, to give, to say, to express. And it's not something bad. On camera, before it's like, oh, you don't have composure. No, it's because I'm expressive. I have so much to give to you that I just want to tell you with my hands. Right?
I do the same thing. Or sometimes I'll sit here and I'll just listen, right? I mean,
a lot of times these fingers do a lot of talking, a lot of spinning. So, I cannot help but just say it is, networking on LinkedIn is a lot like
Uh-huh.
dating.
Mhm.
And it's a lot like speed dating. Oh, I just did by the way, just a personal pet peeve, and I just did it myself. That means to drink more water. Watch your lip smacking, tongue smacking. Just an FYI, as
Have
an
we been doing
editor,
that?
we hate that
Okay.
sound. No, I
She
just did
edits
it,
every
and
single day, so
Okay.
she sees it.
I just spent like 5 hours last night wanting to choke myself because I had to cut that out. Anyway, I digress. But no, I think of networking as
Made me
dating,
snort.
right?
Sorry.
Cocktail hours.
But see, this is the
What?
beauty of it. We're having fun. We're delivering value. She said,
I laughed so hard over what you were just talking about that I snorted really loud.
No,
not the only one. I do it too.
I didn't hear it. I'm going deaf, I think. Oh my
Oh
God.
my God.
It's okay.
I-
You did not
Okay,
need to hear
snorts,
the
I will
snort.
keep in the edit, by the way. I keep snorts in, especially if it's around laughter. That tickles me.
Girl, if it comes out, it comes out. That means that I'm very in the moment, authentically in the moment, and you make me laugh. It's a compliment. It is a compliment.
Oh, God.
Oh my goodness.
No, oh my God. So like I was talking about speed dating, like I gotta tell you guys, pitch slapping, like I gotta bring it back again. I'm actually starting a series on it. I am collecting, and if you guys want to participate, you're welcome to give me a screenshot of all the pitch slap
Oh,
pitches
I'd
you've
love
gotten.
to.
I will take out
I
the
Had a great
names,
one today.
but I will absolutely. I'm actually everyone. Oh, Timothy, I can tell you would have many, and
Oh,
I am a
Corey.
snorter, Corey. Thanks, dude.
Hi, Corey.
I am a snorter.
We love Corey.
We love you, brother. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh my God. Okay, so I just lost my train of
Speed
thought.
dating.
Slapping,
Oh
speed
yes, dating.
dating.
Can I just tell you, anyone that pitch slaps in the DMs, you slide in people's DMs, and the first thing you say is hi. What the hell, dude?
Hello,
Like,
sir.
if you're going to a cocktail
Hello,
party and you
Denise, we're
walk
at the
around and you're
bottom.
like, I'm the best copyright editor and video editor out there. And you're like, who the hell are
Yeah.
you? Like, I don't understand why people think that is. Can we just talk about this?
DRN.
Why do people use bots and think like, okay, I understand bot usage and it's a tool to leverage, but could you get me a little bit more creative with your intro? Like, hello, like, can you give an effort? Like, I don't know. Am I the a-hole here?
No.
No. I mean, like I said, I've been called hello, sir. I'm like, oh, last time I checked, I wasn't, but okay. So they don't get creative. So what do? You ignore. I ignore. I don't dwell on that. But it's annoying.
But there's honest humans that are just don't know any
Mhm.
better. And they're like, oh, this is a great idea. And it's like, oh my God, no. You're a good person. Why are you falling for this trap? That's what concerns me more than anything. I don't care about the people who don't give a crap and they're just spamming for the sake of spamming. It's the people who just don't know better. Where and how do you think we can better educate to say, no. There are better approaches. You can still leverage those types of tools, but the way you're going about it is literally hurting you.
Sorry, I was
Might be
distracted
mean.
by Mark's comment. He said, I came for the networking, stayed for the snores. Oh my God. We need to end this soon. No joke. But it is. This is part of what being authentic is. It's showing up as yourself. Imagine, did you ever think you were going to be doing a live stream like this?
No, not
Being
with
you.
No, I mean, well, so I do those. I have been doing them more, but it took me a while to get to that point. I would reserve myself, or
Mhm.
I would get off and say, critique every aspect and think, okay, what can I do better so that I'm not that quirky self? And now I'm kind of just owning it, right? Because it's easier. I mean, I'm more in flow when I just own it instead of, and I'm again being my authentic self then, right? And I'm not trying to be this version that I think everyone else wants to see.
Exactly.
Look,
Sports and all, by the way.
Yes.
I used to worry about my hair and nails and makeup, bathe, that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I don't care anymore.
Okay, now
I
we hope
honestly
you
do that. I
bathe.
work constantly. Well, we could talk about that offline if we're live, right? Okay. But half these people know who I am anyway. It's a good day if my hair's not greasy. Anyway, but I used to like dress up all the time now. Honestly, I just wear concert t-shirts because F it. Like, I like music. That's my jam. You will find me at a concert in my happy place. I am not wearing freaking designer clothes. Well, first off, designer clothes don't fit me, but whatever. Mean designers. But anyway, you know what I mean? Like, but do whatever is you like. Raquel, brought 15 bags
Oh
to
my God, you gotta put
Orlando
my
last
business out
month.
there like that. Yeah.
But you know what though? You dressed like 4 different women at that conference. So
Okay,
that's you,
so
man.
let's talk
That was
about that really quick because that's an actual learning moment, right? We went to the conference January,
The
right?
Podfest
The
one.
Podfest, yes. So we were also part of Healthcare Amplified. Shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And we made so many friends. We met so many beautiful people from all over the world. But I don't pack light. Okay, that is one of those things that I work on. I'm telling you guys, I'm working on it. I don't pack light, but Sia and Jody were literally like one bag, like just the carry on, and I brought 2 extra luggages, and they were like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I was so indecisive, so they were judging me from the get go. But guess what?
100% judging. And not only were we judging, she kept going. I think you didn't tell us how many bags you had. So we're at the baggage claim and she's like, "Oh, I think that's my bag." And we're like, and it was this gigantic bag. And then we're like thinking, okay, that's good. You just pick one bag. She goes, "Oh no, I'm waiting for 2 other bags." I'm like, "I'm so sorry, guys." And it was like the last bags. We're just like watching all these bags go by, and I'm like, "Oh my God."
Okay, but see, at the end of the day, what ended up happening, right?
You did dress 4 women. You literally dressed 4
That's
women
awesome.
and possibly 1 man. I don't know.
Oh my
The
God.
sir.
The sir, yes. I am so sorry, but yes, it ended up working out. So my quirkiness, my indecisiveness, and my just my willingness to show up ended up being, helping other people. And so for me, that it just made my soul like full. Like I was so filled. There
It
we
did.
go. We're gonna say that. But at the end of the day, what we're trying to say with all this just beautiful moments that we're living, I mean, we're celebrating, y'all. We're celebrating International Women's Day. I'm
Yeah.
so in my element. I'm so happy, and I'm so happy that you all are here and learning from these experiences. And plus, it's Friday. Oh my gosh, who doesn't want to just kind of let their hair down on Friday, right? It's a
Right.
beautiful day where we are. So, um, what I'm trying to say is, at the end of the day, when you show up just being yourself, just your authentic at core yourself, it ends up being a blessing to others. So never shun that down. Anyways, okay, you can take over. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I want to be cognitive of the time.
Mhm.
It is getting to be close to the top of the hour, and Rocky has to leave like at 1:30 to go pick up her kids, and we still haven't eaten lunch. So we
Shout out to your husband, by the way. He just prepared like a display of amazing things back there. I don't know if
with
y'all can see
homemade
it.
bread and homemade we call it homemade schinken. Schinken is ham in German, right? Because we're German. And so he made homemade, like, hung it in the to
Oh
yeah,
my
it's
God.
cool. Yeah. So we have that.
TFTI.
Come join us.
If
Come
you
join
live
us.
closer, you could have come, girl.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, so we are going to kind of start to wrap this up,
Mhm.
but we want to say, first off, I want to give you guys, both Sia and yourself, Rocky, a warm thank you for having taken the time to spend this time with me. I've had a great time here, and I'm hoping that everyone out there in the audience, and I'm sorry I did not do a very good job of managing the comments. So for those, we'll come back and do that after. But thank you for all being out there and participating. I see the comments, so I
We
know
see
that,
them.
yeah, we appreciate them and appreciate your engagement. We hope that you've had a really great time. I'd like for us to end this maybe with just a parting thought and how to find each other, how everyone can
Sure.
find us, right? So maybe Rocky, since you're sitting here, you can kick us
Sure.
off with just, tell us parting thoughts and maybe then where best way to find you is.
Absolutely. All right. Well, it's been an honor, you guys. Thank you so much for being patient and for actually, I see everyone still there. Oh my gosh, you guys are amazing. Thank you.
Snorts and all,
With
right?
snorts and all. Hey, but you know what? They'll remember that. That is the moment cemented in history for LinkedIn here to see. And it's just, we're very appreciative. On this International Women's Day, I celebrate all of you glorious, beautiful, stunning, regal, amazing women out there. We are on our own power. We walk in our own power. Cherish that. Always remember that at the end of the day, we do create life. And I know it sounds, bold, but we are bold here. Okay, we are very bold around here. But for me to you, remember the 3 L's or what I said. Right? You have to live with authenticity or live in an authentic way. because that honors you. You have to love with authenticity or in authenticity. You honor others and you lead with authenticity because you do both. Okay?
I love that.
And you can find me on LinkedIn,
Oh.
as you can see here. This is the best way to find me, or you can find me with the Brilliant Being team. No, I guess Brilliant Being Media team, and I have the link there too. So take it away, Sia.
Awesome, awesome. Hey, I'll just keep it simple because Raquel, you summed it up beautifully. Look, if you're going to be authentic to who you are and you're authentic to support one another, there's a saying that I always say, and I say it wrong, but I've decided it's my term because I say it so wrong, so perfectly wrong, which is all ships rise with the tide. You know what? If we all support each other and we're all successful in our own ways, it just uplifts because success begets more success. So I appreciate you, Denise, for having us. I love your vibe. Girl, keep going with it. Be yourself, and hopefully we didn't lead you too far astray on being super authentic. Bathe, it's okay. Everyone bathe. I guess that's a takeaway. You can always find me on LinkedIn. I'm SYYA. I think I'm the
You
only
are.
SYYA on LinkedIn. Other than Swedish Yo-Yo Association apparently might have something. But yeah, hit us up at Brilliant Being Media. And I'd love to connect with everybody here that's commenting. You guys are awesome. And Chella, if you grew up in Orange, did you go to VP? Because if so, we went to rival high schools.
I wonder where I don't know where she went. She's one of my dear souls. Like, I think we are soul sisters. So
Girl.
we are partners in crime.
awesome.
Yeah. So I don't know where she went to school though. So I'll find out though and let you know. Or I'll make sure she reaches out to you so that y'all can connect and you can have that conversation.
Love it, love it. Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful, happy International Women's Weekend and day and life.
And every day.
Yeah,
You
every
rock.
day we should be celebrating women every day. So for me, thank you again. I think my parting words are, I guess, snort and all. Just be your authentic self.
That should go on your headline.
Snort and
I'm
all.
telling you. I'm just kidding.
And I'm here on LinkedIn. I mean, this one was a special episode, but I also hold my CAF AI chats. I have coffees with Denise, and I'm launching my Celevators live coming up as well. And I'm excited about my first guest coming up in a couple of weeks. So thank you guys all again for being here. I appreciate it. We'll get back to everyone who's in the comments right now. We will do that throughout today and the weekend to get caught back up. But again, thank you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Go and celebrate the women in your lives. Make sure you're surrounded by fabulous women today and this weekend, and really, quite frankly, every day. So again, thank you guys to both of you. Thank you to the audience. Have a wonderful rest of your day and a beautiful weekend. Bye, everyone.
See ya.
Okay, now I got to get hold on, we're working. There we go.